What's up guys, it's Tyring here, and today I'm back with another video. This time I'm here with a Call of the Wild wish list for 2025. So in this video I'm going to be talking about some of the things I'd like to see come to the Hunter Call of the Wild in the year of 2025. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. Now I had a bit of trouble deciding what I'd like to see, so I just picked a couple of things. Most of this is just going to be like animals, Trurex, and stuff like that, but that's closer to the end because there's a few other things I want to talk about that I'd like to see. So first up we have is vehicle customization. Ever since New England Mountains came out, we've been able to customize our weapons, our binoculars, and even our tents and blinds. However, I think it's at that point where we need to be able to customize our ATVs. I feel like we should be able to put the different metals and all that onto our ATVs, like have a full blue ATV or a full red and orange, yellow, something like that. I definitely think that would be really cool. Next up on my wish list is non-typicals for antlered animals. Now, we technically already have some non-typicals in the game in the form of the great ones for whitetail, and I guess you could say the red deer and the moose, but some actual non-typical racks would be pretty cool. I'd love to see a couple of drop tines on like a diamond whitetail, and even see that for like mule deer. Non-typicals would definitely be cool, but as they said, they want to get the true racks out of the way first. And I'll get to that later on. Next up we have is trail cameras. Now at first I thought this was kind of unnecessary because your animal population is just the same. It's not like the Hunter Classic where it changes every 24 hours, I believe. But you never know. You could be exploring a map and you never know what you could have in that area. And then you could put up a trail cam and you could see what passes by that area. And this of course is something that the community's been requesting for a while now. Next up we have another piece of equipment, that being the spotting scope. So as you guys know, the binoculars is how you are able to spot animals. But what if we had an ability to spot animals from a further distance? Of course, you know, they wouldn't be able to like extend the rendering because of limitations with the engine and all that. But having a spotting scope would be nice to have something other than just binoculars. Oh, this is another feature I'd like to see is the ability to toggle off night vision for the night vision binocular in the high-tech pack. So now for weapons, I don't really have much. The only weapon I have listed is the 416 Rigby. If we are going to get Africa 2.0 in the future, we definitely need a big firearm. We technically already have the 375 and the 470, but the 416 is a really good caliber that I think would be perfect for elephants. It also would work fine for buffalo and lion too. Definitely would love to see that come to the game at some point. For transportation, the only thing I have listed is horses. We have dogs, so why not include horses? And it'd be a more quieter way of traveling around the map. So you wouldn't have to worry about disturbing animals on their need zones. And if you're a multiplayer, you wouldn't have to worry about spooking other animals while people are trying to hunt. I think that would be a really nice addition. And the horses could have a ton of patterns that you could choose from. I think that would be really nice to see. And maybe even allow customization on the saddles too. So next up on the wish list, we have 3 different maps. First is Arctic Canada. This is a map that people have been requesting for a while. We could have stuff like polar bears, muskox, Arctic foxes, snow geese possibly. There's a lot that they could do with this map. I think we should get another full-on snow map apart from just Medved Taiga. I mean, Yukon has snow on it. Same thing with Sundarban in the Himal region. And there's also a little bit in Revantuli, but I think it's time we get another like full-on snow map. Next up we have is Africa 2.0 and possibly Africa 3.0, but we're mostly going to stick to Africa 2.0. Everybody just wants another Africa map with bigger species, more than the Virunga map. Because as we've seen with them adding tigers and snow leopards on Sundarban, they're moving away from avoiding adding more protected species. So that could be the chance we could see stuff like elephants on that map. And I wouldn't mind having a third Africa map. And in my opinion, the reason I brought up Africa 3.0 is because in my opinion, I feel like we should have 3 Africa maps. Let me know if you agree or disagree. The last map is one that I have been requesting myself personally. That is Mongolia. This is a cool idea because we'd have different kinds of sheep, like the Altai argali, which is the largest species of wild sheep in the world. And it'd also be another map for roe deer, wild boar, Eurasian widgeon, gray wolf, and we could also have the taiga bean geese, Mongolian gazelle, Mongolian elk, Altai ibex, and a few other species on it. By the way, I am going brief on this because I just wanted to make this a quick video instead of extending it out too long. So next up we have some backfills that I'd like to see. For those who don't know what a backfill is, it takes an already existing animal in the game and it adds it to another map that never had it previously. I have Leighton Lake with the gadwall, green-winged teal, raccoon, bobcat, and the bighorn sheep. Medved Taiga with the mountain hare, Silver Ridge Peaks with the white-tailed deer and the coyote, Aurora with the Himalayan tar, or simply just tar, and the sandbar deer, Mississippi acres with both the gadwall and the mallard, and Emerald Coast with the water buffalo. So now we're going to move on to animals I would like to see added into this game. So we first have a trio of ducks, them being the wood duck, northern pintail, and the American black duck. These guys could be on Layton, Mississippi, New England, maybe Silver Ridge Peaks, but I mostly see them on Mississippi and Layton. The next animal we have is the ruffed grouse. I just feel like if we have the black grouse and the hazel grouse and the western capercaillie, which is also known as the wood grouse, I think we need an American species of grouse. And I think the ruffed grouse is perfect. They could put this guy on New England, Layton, Silver Ridge Peaks, and Yukon Valley. I think those maps would be perfect for a ruffed grouse, mainly because the ruffed grouse is found throughout those parts of North America. Next up we have is the Pierre David's deer, and this is an animal that Scarecrow's been wanting in the game for a while. And he said that, and he's been saying Parque Fernando would be perfect for this animal. And he's not wrong about that. There are actually populations of Pierre David's deer in Patagonia where Parque Fernando takes place. Next up we have is the one animal I've been wanting to see in this game for a while, the sable antelope. They're just such a beautiful antelope. I would love to see these guys in the Hunter Call of the Wild. Another pair of antelope I love to see are the greater kudu, which is something the community's been wanting in the game for a while, and the nyala. Next up we have is the spotted hyena. I feel like this would be perfect for another Africa predator on Virhonga if they decide to do that, because the only other predator on Virhonga aside from the lion is the jackal, and the jackals don't do much. So I feel like having the hyenas would be pretty cool. Next is the doll sheep. Obviously, we would put these guys in Alaska, i.e. Yukon Valley. It definitely would be hard to distribute their home range, but I'm sure they would be able to find a way to make them work on Yukon. And the last animal I have is the Indian peafowl. Now, you guys might be wondering, why the heck do you have peafowl, aka peacocks, on a wish list? There is actually populations of pheasants in New Zealand, so Aurora would be the map to have Indian peafowl. That's where I'm going on with this. And this is an animal I would include on my New Zealand map if I did a hunting game, which if you guys want to see that video, be sure to check it out. I'll leave a link in the description and in the pinned comment if you want to check it out. Same thing with part 2. Now, some animal remasters, because there are some animals that their models are okay, but they definitely should be upgraded or they just look terrible and need upgraded. Those animals are the white-tailed jackrabbit, the European hare, Roosevelt elk, caribou and reindeer, mule deer, coyote, grizzly bear, all 4 Spanish ibex being the Besit, Gredos, Ronda, and Southeastern Spanish, as well as every mammal on Virhonga Savanna being scrub hare, side-striped jackal, springbok, lesser kudu, warthog, blue wildebeest, gemsbok, lion, and Cape buffalo. The lions, jackal, and scrub hare definitely need it, and they think they should also update the other animals too to be a little more realistic. And maybe also have some better horn varieties with the springbok, because the diamond horns for the springbok aren't as good as the original, to be honest. Next up we have Truax for Cape buffalo, blue wildebeest, and gemsbok. Now I love the Cape buffalo diamond racks, especially the big horns. I really love those. But it's at that point where I think it's time for them to get Truax, along with wildebeest. I definitely would love to see true horns on them. And I think gemsbok definitely should, because honestly, the horns on the gemsbok in the game, they're not necessarily that realistic. I think it's definitely time they update the horns on the gemsbok. And lastly, we have great ones that I would love to see in this game. These are some species that people have been requesting for a while, and I would definitely love to see them as great ones. Those species are mule deer, caribou/reindeer, Roosevelt elk, Rocky Mountain elk, gray wolf, wild boar, lion, and Cape buffalo. Of course, if Cape buffalo are going to be a great one, they would definitely need to get the true horns treatment first. And a great one lion is like the most requested great one predator at this point. And people have been talking about Hogzilla for a great one wild boar. I think that would be pretty cool. And I would love to see great ones for the gray wolf, both the elk species, as well as the caribou and reindeer. But the mule deer is definitely the one I want to see the most, because the mule deer is the most requested animal to be a great one species. I would definitely love to see that. But we'll just have to wait and see what Expansive Worlds does in 2025. But anyways, guys, that is my wish list for Call of the Wild in 2025. I know not every single thing I mentioned in this video will come, but it's just some things I would love to see at some point, whether it's in 2025 or years after. If you enjoyed this video, let me know what you thought about it down below, and tell me what your wish list for 2025 is in the comment section. And if you're new around here, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Feel free to check out our Discord server. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.